Hey, Ashamalik. Good morning. How are you doing?
Doing good, sir. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, great, good.
Uh,
Good to see you. Okay. So, Kamalesh, have you got something out of these lectures?
yes, sir. Really got
Okay.
like so much of new things I got to learn.
And are you working on them so that you can, practice them while in your practical life?
Yes, sir. In upcoming days, I'm gonna work on it.
Good, good. Okay. I'm happy that, some people got, some good start out of these lectures, and when they will sit in their work desks and practice these things, they will
Yes,
recall these lectures at that time.
will remember you, sir. Always.
Thank you. So, good. Okay. So today is our last lecture. So I will try to cover as much as possible, and maybe today I will show you some pre-written code so that we can cover quite a well, right? Actually, I wanted to reach at a certain point, and which was definitely possible if we did not have those extraordinary days off. So but we cannot bring them back. So let's do this thing that today I'm going to show you some pre-written code so that we can cover all these topics I wanted to cover with you, right? And then after this lecture is over, I will go over with you in one-to-one meetings, right? So this is our today's agenda. Let's start with it. Okay. Hmm. So let me share my screen. Give me a minute. Okay, just give me a moment. Okay, this is okay. Yeah, this is your code. Let me just open the file and share the screen with you. Uh, Not this one. Okay. Where is web programming folder? Okay, here it is. Okay, and we were working on node 2, right? Were we? Node 2, yes, and app.js. Okay, great. Okay, and let me have it share. So, share screen, share. Okay, guys, so this code looks familiar to you. And let me go to command prompt and change folder into your folder, cd web programming summer of 2020. Then look at it, the name is so long. Okay, so let's clear up the screen and let's say node. Did anybody give it a try? The node mon I mentioned quite a bit of time. You tried it, Menthan? Node mon, no? Who tried it? Yeah, you should give it a try. It is worth trying actually. Okay, so you say node base app.js, right? Oh, what has happened from the last time? Uh, uh, okay, app.js. Oh, okay. Because why?
We should be in the node folder.
Yeah, simple as that, right? So node 2, right? cd node 2, cd space node 2, right? So cls. Okay. So node app.js and server is running, right? Server is running, right? And let's go to our page, right? And let's reload it. So what was happening over here is that I was over here and I was trying to sign up, and as I press the sign up button, the Ajax post request is launched, goes to the server, and server does nothing but sends it back to us, right? So we are just having this confirmation that the client to server communication to that particular route is happening, and it is happening through Ajax, right? Are you with me, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's sign up, right? So if we press sign up, look, it is happening, right? So we are at the right track, right? We are at the right track. So now the deal here is that what we have to do is that we have to create this account into the DB, the MongoDB, right? So MongoDB we have already connected with, right? If you know, if I show you the code. So here in this line of code, we have required Mongoose over here. Actually, Mongoose is the node interface for MongoDB, right? So basically we have required the Mongoose and we have exposed the Mongoose into our code. And by using this Mongoose object, we have actually connected to to our required database. Make sense? Make sense, guys? And now the deal is that here, right over here, we are receiving the sign up request, right? We are receiving the sign up request, and that request we are getting it in request.body, and we are kind of stringifying it and sending it back, just for this, proof of concept that communication is happening. Everybody is with me up till now? Now here at this moment, we want to create the account. Create the account, right? So if we want to create an account, the deal is that and definitely we have to interact with MongoDB, right? We have to, for that purpose, we have to interact with MongoDB, right? Right, guys? Okay. So in order to interact with MongoDB, we need to tell what DB, right? And that we have already told up on the top, right over here, that what DB we want to, connect with. The next thing we have to tell is that what collection. Make sense? The next thing we have to tell is that what collection we want to interact with. So once we have to tell this thing that what collection we want to interact with, we need to make a template of that collection, right? Or we can say in DB language, we can say that we want to create a schema for that particular collection, right? So schema is that, like, you can say that in MySQL, it is like a record, right? That it would have a name, it would have an ID, it would be having uh, a password, right? So basically all these fields. And then I mentioned earlier to you in the last lecture that MongoDB automatically assigns an ID with underscore, with the name underscore ID, right? So basically this is something we have to tell before we create a document into MongoDB or whatever the DB, right? So basically here we need to create that schema. So now we can do this thing over here, do this stuff over here, but this is like server, right? So it is better that we do all this creation of schema and everything into a separate file and require that file over here in this server. Make sense? Now, instead of having it spread all over and then finding, hey, what's happening here? So the best approach here is that let's create a file, separate file with the name user.js, and create all the schema and everything over there, and then come back and
We have to
require it
connect.
over, right? So require it over here. So what can we do here is that inside this module folder, we create a new file with the name user.js. Right, so user.js is created, right? And in this file, we say const user schema is equal to new mongoose dot schema, right? Mongoose dot schema, right? And here we need to tell the structure of the schema. But wait a minute, this is definitely an error, right? Why is it an error? This is an error because it will tell, hey, where is the mongoose, right? So because now here we need to have the mongoose reference. So what can we do is that we can cut it from here. Where is mongoose? Here, right? So cut it from here and paste it up on the top over here in this file, right? And similarly, go back here, and where is the connectivity? So I think that we can have connectivity also over there. So we cut it from here, right? And we paste it over, Control S, and we paste it over here. So now it will know that, hey, this is what mongoose is, right? So here within these curly braces, we need to give the schema, right? So schema is like this. So for example, this user is going to have what? This user is going to have a name, right? And then we have to tell what type it is. So it is string, right? Then he's going to have what? He's going to have an email address, and we need to, in its most primitive form, we have to tell that it is of type string, right? And then we have a password, and we have to tell that it is of the type string. But if we want, we can do little better, right? So instead of just mentioning it is a string, we can actually make it an object, right? So we say that its type is string. So type is mandatory, and that if we don't make it an object, we just mention string, right? And we can also say that, for example, type string, I don't know, is it required? Right, required true, right? And what else? So required true. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So similarly here for email, we mentioned the same thing. Here password, we mentioned the same thing. And moreover, if we want, we can mention something like this: min length 5, maybe, right? So basically, here we can tell, like, in MySQL table, we mention the table column attributes, right? So here we can mention the attributes, right? So, and if there is some spell mistake like min length, I don't know, L is capital or small, but if once error will come, we will go over it, right? So once you have created this schema, the next thing we can do over here is, if we want, right over here, and that I will copy paste for you. So next thing we can do over here is that we can put certain methods also, in the schema, right? We can attach certain methods with this particular schema, right? Methods are like, for example, if you want to encrypt the password, right? If you want to encrypt the password, and this is a normal practice that we don't keep user's password in plain text form, we encrypt it. So we can have a method over here which will do that. Or we want to, for example, verify password later on when, you know, at the time of sign in process, right? So we can couple that, we can attach that method over here with this particular schema, right? So by the way, every modern day data for all every modern databases, like for example MongoDB or even PostgreSDB, right? So there are certain hooks which are already attached with the schemas, right? Does anybody know that what are the hooks? Anybody? So look, hooks is a fancy name for certain functions which automatically run at a particular instance, right? Say for example, once a particular document of this particular schema is going to be saved in the database, at that time a particular hook will run, and that will do something about it. Similarly, if a schema, if we are going to read certain document of the out of database, right, a particular hook will run. So if we will not mention those hooks, like we will not configure those hooks, those would be null hooks doing nothing, but hooks would always be there and they would always run. Right, so let me just copy paste some code here and then let me explain it, right? So for example, I come over here. Okay, and paste it over here. So for example, look, this is something we have already done, right? So if you want, I can actually do this one thing. I can remove this one and I can keep the other one, right? So basically const user schema is equal to new mongoose schema, right? Name is a string, and okay, this was not required, this is unique, right? And required true. Unique means that, you know, this particular email address would be unique. There would not be any two email address which are same in various accounts, right? So then we have sort, you know, I'm keeping it for just for your information, but if you don't want it, you can leave it. And then password, which is a string. Okay,
What
look,
is salt, sir?
what is salt, right? Good question. So the deal is that once we get a password, right? For example, let me just unshare it and let me discuss it on the full screen mode, right? So the deal is that, say for example, user gives you a password. So question here is that how are you going to store that password? Tell me, Kamalesh.
We will going to store it in the database.
We are going to store into the database. Very good. Say for example, after some time, somehow your database gets hacked, right? And some hacker gets hold of all these passwords. What will happen? So hacker will get all these passwords, but your website is already hacked, right? So what hacker can do better about it? So like 70% people have this tendency that they will have same password for all their various accounts. So once a hacker will get hold of the password for your particular app, right? So maybe they can give it a try to various other, you know, maybe banks, various other banks, right? Maybe Facebook, maybe Instagram, maybe LinkedIn, right? And maybe, you know, they will get a 10-20% success. So the deal is that in this way, you will be helping the hacker to make more harm, to incur more harm to your customers, not directly through your website, but indirectly for their various other accounts. Are you getting me, guys? So one thing. The second thing is that, say, for example, everybody has a tendency that maybe if you are a very big supporter of of peace, right? So maybe you get a password with the name like this, love and peace, right? So my password, for example, is love and peace, right? And maybe some other person has the same password, love and peace. Another password has love and peace, right? So if I have the same password over there, okay, let me step back just a minute. So the deal here up till now is that we cannot save the password in plain text, right? So if we save the password in plain text, it is a big issue, right? So what should we do?
We need to encrypt the password.
We need to encrypt the password, right? So there is one process which is encryption, right? What's wrong? Okay, so yeah, definitely we can encrypt the password, right? But what is undesirable for this particular situation in encryption is that encryption is a reversible process, right? Encryption is a reversible process, right? Once you encrypt something, you can decrypt it, right, back. So this is not what we desire here, because we want to crush the password and save it in such a form that it is always verifiable. That, for example, if you send me a new password, right? Maybe you allocated a password at the time of creation of your account, right? And now you give me the same password at the time of sign-in process. I should be able to verify this thing. But I don't want this thing that whatever I have got in the form of crushed password, somebody can backtrack it into the original password. Have you got it what I'm saying here? I want to crush my password in such a way that nobody is able to backtrack it. Getting me? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, so this kind of requirement is fulfilled by not encryption, but by hashing process, right? So let me show you hashes, right? So let me show you hashes. So let me take you over here. Sorry, let me first share my screen. So online hash. So okay, okay, for example, say I say 123, right? So look, this is its hash. This is MD5 hash. Say I want to have SHA-256 hash. So this is SHA-256 hash. So it took this 123 string and crushed it in certain way, right, and generated this hash. Look, just have a look at it, and instead of 123, let me say 122. Look, only one bit of difference. Just one bit of difference, and hash is altogether different. So one thing is that hash is catastrophic, that you just make a bit of difference in input, and hash output hash would be altogether different, number one. Number two, hash is always deterministic. No matter how many times you take the hash of 122 or whatever the string input string is, its hash would be the same all the time. So hash is catastrophic, number one, that once I change one single bit in the hash, right, the way the hash is going to change is very catastrophic. We don't have any idea. No person can predict actually that no computer can predict that what would be the hash. It is such a awkward kind of process, right? Number two, hash is easily implementable. Hash is implemented by simple, addition, subtraction, convolution, multiplication, addition, and or such processes which are well known to computer science community. And just by looking into the standard, anybody can implement the hash. Right? Number three, hash is fast, right? You just want to take hash, I just do the 1 2 3 and here it goes, we have already computed the hash. So hash is fast, right? It is not the case that once we have to take the hash, we have to wait for 5 minutes, right? Hashing is very fast. But on the other flip side, hash is also slow. So somebody will ask me this question, that how the hash process can be fast and simultaneously be slow. Anybody wants to ask this question? Don't try to answer this question. I'm asking that anybody can ask this question.
Yes.
Yes, sir. How?
Yeah, how? This is definitely a good question. That how is it possible on Earth that hashing is fast and it is slow also? So who wants to answer this question now?
Maybe depending on the characters.
No, not at all. Manthan and Ankit, I want you guys to answer this question for me.
I know there are two types of hashing, fast hashing and slow hashing.
No, nothing like that. You don't know this.
Okay.
Yes, Manthan. Hashing is slow. Hashing is fast in the sense that if you need to get a couple of hashes, 20, 30 hashes even, one hash, it should not take more than a few milliseconds. But if there is a hacker out there who wants to get these hashes for 10 million different things, right? Or maybe for 1 billion different strings, right? Then, it would be slow. Hacker would not be able to do this process in a reasonable time. At least he would be unable to do it in real time. So this is what when we say a hashing is slow. Hashing is fast, hashing is slow, hashing is deterministic, right? And this is these are the qualities by virtue of which we select hashing, but not encryption to save a password. So what we do is that once our user gives us the password, right? So we hash it and save the hash. But the deal here is that people generally don't have a tendency to pick very strong passwords, because very strong password would be very much randomized, and once they would be very much randomized, right, they would not be very easy to memorize, right? So people have this tendency that they will have a password which is easy for them to memorize. Right? And this actually makes the hacker to launch a typical attack on the password cracking or on the passwords, which is known as a dictionary attack. So what happens is that the hacker collects a bunch of strings which he thinks that people are going to have it as a password, right? And try to hash them all over the time and store them in a device, right? And then they actually sort that listing according to hashes and try to have this reverse lookup, right, from their storage, right? So for example, if somebody has taken this password, maybe Jai Hind, right? So maybe I'm pretty sure that this is a typical password Indian will try to pick, right? So if you pick this password, a hacker will try put this thing into the string, into his dictionary, right? Maybe some people like President Trump, right? So hackers will do this thing that they will put this string like Trump, love Trump, right? And maybe some people like Obama, love Obama, so I love Obama, right? Or passwords like this, they will collect all these sort of strings and make hashes out of them and put them, in that order, and so that it is easily searchable, and try to crack the password. So it means that hashing is kind of failing over here. So what happens is that all these modern day, server side languages, what do they do is that as the password comes, they attach a random string with the password. Right? As the password comes, they attach a random string with the password, and this random string is known as salt. Right? So this random string is known as salt, right? So they attach a salt with the password and then hash it. So thereby what happens is that, even if your password is not very strong, right, by the attachment of this random string, we we would be having a different hash, right? And it would not be possible for a hacker to preserve. For example, your password was, say, I love and peace, right? So this was, say, your password, right? So, and hacker has this string into their database, right, which they for which they have made the hashes, right? But the deal is that while saving this password, we have attached a randomized string with your simple password, and thereby making it complicated, and thereby it is not possible for a hacker, right, to predict the hash beforehand. Now here we have a dilemma, and dilemma is that we need to save the salt along with the password. Why? Why? Because once, for example, your password was love and peace, right? Love and peace was the password, and now you came for the sign in. And once you came for the sign in, how are we going to verify that this is you without knowing the same salt? So we have to preserve the salt along with the hash, so that at the time of sign-in process, we get to know this thing, that okay, this is salt, attach this salt with the new password, and then do the hashing and compare the two hashes, because we cannot unhash anything. Got it? And we have a pepper also, which Ankit knows about, and we are not going to discuss it, right? Okay, yes, any question?
No, sir.
Okay, great. So I hope that you have got this idea that what is salt, right? So we come back over here. Can you see my screen? Right?
Yes, sir.
So I was saying that, we can have salts to save over here, but I will prefer not to, right? No need to save the salt. It is already a part of the password hash. So I will show you this thing, just to show you this thing. I'm doing this. Okay, now here, look, this is here, I'm configuring a hook. So user schema, which is this schema dot pre. Pre means that before something, right? Pre, and then here the keyword is save. So hey, user schema, before you save this document related to this schema into the database, run this function. Run what? Run this function. And what is this function going to do is that it is going to generate salt, and then it is going to use this salt along with the password to generate the hash. And for that purpose, we need to have another module for us, right, which is bcrypt, which is known as what? Which is known as bcrypt. So bcrypt is the module which is responsible for the encryption and decryption and hashing, right? And if you go over there, we need to require bcrypt. So we need to come here, we say const bcrypt is equal to require bcrypt, right? So, and bcrypt is not something which is built in, right? So we need to go in the prompt, Control C, CLS, and we say npm install bcrypt. So warning, okay, no, it is done, right? So edit this, and found for detail. Okay, right. So basically we have installed bcrypt, and once we have installed bcrypt, now we can use it, right? So coming back over here, so the deal is that here I am configuring a hook. So this hook is going to execute once a document which is created by using this schema is going to be saved in the database. Got it, guys? Right? And right over here, besides this hook, I have created this function, and this function is added into the schema by using this user schema dot methods. And then this is the name of the function, valid password or validate password. And this is the function which will use bcrypt to verify the password, right? So this particular function would be used to would use bcrypt to verify the password. Everybody is getting it? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, great. So once we have done this thing, so now if you look at it here, once we are saying const user mongoose dot model user comma user schema. So now here in this line number 23, we are creating a model. Model mean class, right? Here we are creating a class, right? With the help of this user schema. And the name of this class is user, right? The name of this class is user. And not only we create a model that is a class, it also create a collection within the DB with the name users. So it makes it plural automatically. For example, if instead of user I make it person, right? I make it person, so it will make a collection within the DB with the name. With the name?
Persons.
No,
People.
people. Right? So it is wise enough, right? It knows that what is the plural of something, right? So not only, it will just put a S over there, it actually makes it, qualified plural name. Got it? And then we are exporting the user class, right? We are exporting the user. So this is exactly what we are doing. And now let's do this thing. Let's go over there in app.js and import this, right? Or require this. So we come over here, we say require user, right? And from where do we require it? We require it from /modules/user.js. Right, guys? So we have imported it, and now we can use it over here in this particular file. Got it? So let me just run the server just to see that if there's an error and we rectify it. We say node app.js. Okay, it is compiling it, taking some time. Okay, look, here we have got a deprecation warning. Collection dot whatever is deprecated, use this, right? So what does it mean? So once we get a deprecated warning like this, we copy it, take it to the browser, and this is normal practice, right? We paste it here because definitely people would be talking about it. We are not the first people to use MongoDB or Mongoose for that matter. And this is that deprecation warning, Stack Overflow link probably, or GitHub link, and they will tell us that what should we do about it. And okay, if we don't see it happening up top, maybe click another link. This is Stack Overflow. Oh, sorry, this is Stack Overflow link. Yeah, this link, right? Let's click here and it will tell us that what to do, right down there. And tick, 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 tick. Where is something somebody is telling us? Hmm. Hmm. No, they are not giving us solution like we want. Okay, let's see this thing. Okay, look. So maybe this one, right? So copy this, right? Copy this, and where we are using it in user.js, and right after you have got Mongoose, paste it here, right? So as I mentioned that placed due to warning, right? So save it. Though warnings are not a big deal, but still. See, CLS. Okay, so this is something wrong we have done. So let me get it, for you. I have it for you, but I thought that I will get it from internet. So copy, paste, save it. So you try a few solutions, and then I came up with this solution, and this is good, right? It has stopped the warning. Okay. Anyways, so once we have got this up and running, now the next thing is that we can use this model to create the user, right? So we come over here. We come over here in the sign up, right? We say const new user is equal to new user, right? And here we are going to create the user, right? And the user is going to have a name, which would be request dot body dot name, right? Comma, sorry. Then the new user is going to have an email address. So email would be request dot body dot email, and new user is going to have a password. So we say password is request dot body dot password, right? So now we have created a new user, right? Once a new user is created, the next step is to save it, right? So we want to say something like this: new user dot save, right? But let's look into the save function for a minute so that we can understand that how is it working. So cross it out, we come back here, we say Mongoose save, right? Let's ask Mongoose that how to save, right? So we come over here, so look, so we are small is equal to new task, right? And this is how it's making. And look, small dot save, right? New user dot save, and this is going to have a function, and function is going to have going to get an error if there is any. So if there is any the error, then you have to do it in the if block. Otherwise, it is saved and you can send some message back, right? So let me just copy this function. Where is the function? Okay, let's copy this function from here. Copy. And paste it over here. Right, guys? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Okay, so save. If there is error, then handle error, right? And error, so let's do this thing. Okay, and if there is no error, then come back here and we can paste it here, maybe JSON or stringify message success. You can have any message, right? So basically here we are saving it, right? Have you got the idea? Okay, so ready, steady for the work. So let's come over here in compass. Where is the compass has gone? Okay, this is compass. Okay, so users, so let us do this thing that we simply drop it. Not this one. Which one is yours? Let me check. It was test WPDB, right? Where is that? Huh? Test DB, session DB.
It's right below shop DB, sir. Below.
Where?
No, sir, it is test DB. It is
No, not here. Where it has gone, man? Oh, okay. Didn't we save anything into it? So it would not be visible here, right? We mentioned it last time also, right? So since that DB is completely empty, so it is not showing here, right? So this is the reason. So let's go back here and let's see, what can we get. Look, once this piece of code will run, right? So user will be created and this piece of code will actually save it, right? So let's get back to the command prompt. Control C, CLS. Okay, building server is running, or port this one, right? And we come over here. Yeah, we come over here and reload the server. Just visit the website a little bit. Okay, now we are ready to put. So for example, we say Kamalesh, right? Kamalesh Sancha. Is this Sancha, right?
Yes, sir.
SENCHA, right? So like Sachin Tendulkar, right?
Hey.
Okay. Here, so ks@gmail.com. By the way, you know, if I had time, I should have taught you validator also, but I will go over it a little bit, right? So, and say password. Oh, what has happened? I don't want to. Okay. And then password is say 1234556, right? And we say sign up, success, right? Got it? So let's go into DB and see that whether it was successful or not, right? Reload it, right? Can you see that we have this DB is now visible here?
Yes.
It has a collection with the name users, right? And it has a document saved. Look, it has the name, your name is Kamilis Sancha, email and password, right? And password, you can see that it is not 123456, it is hash, right? And it is hash, and look at it, this is the salt saved. But if you look at this part carefully, which is the salt, right? And you compare it with this part over here, right? Can you see?
Yes, sir.
So this salt is saved as the part of the password. So you need not to save it separately, for sure. So just wanted to show you this thing that salt is there. If you want to save it, we have this provision that we can save it separately, but we need not to, right? Because bcrypt already knows that it has saved the password, so saved the salt alongside the password, and it would be able to, you know, get it. Got it, guys? So this was just sign up process, right? I have taught you that how can you attach, connect with the database, and how can you save an account. Now log in, log out, sign in, sign out, and then all these different processes, they take some more gist, right, to go into. And let me teach you briefly a few of these things, and then let me go over some code which I actually written for you, just in case you are interested, right? There are two concepts actually which are very important before we think about sign in, sign out process. And these two concepts are cookies and sessions. So does anybody know that what is a cookie? Cookie is not that cookie which you eat.
Yeah.
So what is cookie?
It stores the some preferences sort of thing in the browser,
Okay,
like the user preferences.
let me tell you what is a cookie. Where is my notepad? Here it is, right? So
Store user experience, like what user select.
so let me add a new page. Let me tell you. So cookie first. So this is client,
Just like catch.
this is server, right? So client goes to the server for the first time. Right? So if you want to know further about cookies, you can watch my videos on object-oriented programming. There we have discussed quite a bit in detail that what are cookies and what are sessions, right? So first time it goes to the server, right? And server, okay, this is like this. For example, you go to Amazon and you just browse around, you say paid interest to the laptop computers, right? And later on you walked away. Next time, maybe in a couple of days, you go back to Amazon, they'll start showing you laptops. So this is what the cookies is, that cookies give you a better user experience. So cookies are not meant to store critical information. They are meant to store some data, which is, which makes the browsing more user friendly. Right? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so client goes to the server for the first time, server looks into it, oh, it's coming for the first time because it is not having any cookies, right? So server instruct the browser that, hey browser, this is your response, this is your page, but would you like to store this cookie? Right? Would you like to store this cookie? Client, if agrees, right? And by the way, there could not be any modern day browsing without cookies, right? So if you get these cookies, you store it. You have stored the cookies over here. Once you go back to the server next time, you present the server with the same cookie. Hey server, you said that save this cookie for me, right? I actually preserved that cookie. Now here it is, give me the user experience you promised. And then, server provides the user experience according to the cookie.
Sir, if we visit the website second time using another browser, so still it will
No. It works only for
same.
that browser,
Okay.
right? Same browser.
Okay.
It is a browser phenomenon. Right? Got it? Now these are cookies, right? So cookies are not meant to store critical information. Now there is another thing which is known as session, and sessions work like cookie but totally different. Right? This is something my PhD supervisor Dr. Lewis used to say. Right? This is identical but totally different, right? So now here you will know that how is it possible that one thing is identical but totally different, right? So this is the client. This is the server. This is the server. So client goes to the server with say username and password, right? So server authenticates the user, and logged in him, right? So have this information over here that whether this person is logged in or not with him. And this information is stored in a temporary file, and here this file have an ID. So server asks the browser that, hey, keep this ID as cookie with you. Keep this ID as cookie with you. So client keeps that ID as a cookie, right? And whenever he visits on another page, now the deal is that once you are at Facebook, Facebook does not ask you that, hey, now sign in, and then you are visiting another page over there, you sign in again, you visiting another page over there, you sign in. And no, it is not possible. It will make the user experience very awkward. So what does Facebook do, or any, for that matter, any system which actually logs you in or logs you out does is that they have this login information with them over here in the session or session file, right? And they give a reference to that session file to you. So that whenever you come back again to them, right, and show them that session ID, they would be able to figure it out that who you are, right? And whether you are logged in or not logged in, right? And then give you a user experience according to that fact. So these are sessions, right? So in order to understand login logout process, you get to know that what are sessions. I hope that this short description of cookies and sessions would be enough for you to understand the concept of log in log out, which I am going to discuss with you verbally. I'm sorry, I'm not going to code it for you, because coding it takes at least 2 more lectures, and we are already in the last lecture, right? Because we missed 2 lectures because of unexpected holidays. But let me give you that code, right? So I will just display all the code on the screen, and you can actually go ahead. I'm not going to send you the code because I want you to punch in yourself if you want to. And once you have punched in yourself, you will see that it will work for you, right? Okay, so let's see that what code I'm talking about and how does it work. So we come back over here. So here I have written that code for you. And this is written very much similar on the ground where on which your project is being made. So guys, during this entire month, I wrote all this code for you, right? Just keeping my own practice up. Okay. Okay, so this is the project, right? This is the module folder. Here I have that user file. Let me flash this file in front of you. And this is the same file I was using previously also, right? So this is that same user file. I hope that you have got it, right? Right, guys? Okay, and then this is the validator. So validator is like Express Validator. You have to install npm i Express Validator, and this is the validator for sign-in process. So it is saying body email is email, checking that is email, and then it is sanitizing and normalizing according to email. And then it is saying body password dot trim the password, and length check, length is minimum 5, right? Then we have validation and sanitization for sign up in the same line. And we are exporting these two validators and sanitizer out of this file right over here. So I flashed this entire file in front of you. Then these are normal node modules, right? Then this is the public folder in which we have my CSS, which is the UL CSS I wrote for you. I will just scroll it for you so that if you want to punch it in, you should have no difficulty in it, right? So this is the same, nearly the same CSS which I wrote with you in this previous project, right? Hello. Let me show you JavaScript. So JavaScript has nav functionality is the same. The only thing is that I have enclosed in a closure. You don't want to do it, you can keep the same nav, it is good. Then this is Ajax function, right? So basically I wrote this code yesterday for you. The only difference is that now I am having event listener for sign up button and also event listener for sign in button. Right, guys? Hello?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. Right, so basically this is our normal Ajax thing, right? Okay, then I have this Ajax post, right? And post functions, right? So basically it is for sign out, right? So this file is for sign out process, right? And then I have this Ajax functions, right? So I have Ajax get function and I have Ajax post function right over here. Can you see it?
Yes,
Right?
sir.
And I have these modules and I'm exporting these modules here like this, right? So this is my JavaScript, which I just wanted to share with you. And once I'm exporting here, you can see that I am in my main file. I'm importing it, right? And here I'm using only post Ajax, the get Ajax I'm not using in this project. Okay, I've just placed it over there for you. Okay, so once I have shown you this thing, let me show you views. So in view folder, I have home, right? So home is simple. And here I have included a link, which is the link to an article which I used to create some of the modules. I wanted to acknowledge that guy. And so this is just a dummy form. It is not doing anything here, right? This is the weather form which I gave life to with your other project. Otherwise, this is not doing anything else, right? And then I have this me.js, right? This is me.js, and me.js is the normal. Only thing is that it has a sign up form and a sign in form, right? And then this is me sign out.js, right? So basically it has sign out form, right? So I have kept two separate files. One is for sign in, sign up, and the other one is for sign out process, right? And basically in the server file, which I'm going to show you at the end, it is checking that if you are signed in, then this particular file would be shown as me. Otherwise, the other one would be shown to you as me. Okay, right, guys?
Yes, sir.
So this is my page not found file, which you know what it is. This is like wall file, nothing, you know this thing. This is Word file, it has nothing, you know already this thing, right? And then we have the only thing which I have to show you right now is app.js. So this is okay. Let me show you this thing, package.json file, because once you have package.json, you can use npm install to install the entire project, right? So once you just punch in this package.json, the project would automatically be installed for you, right? So here I'm using bcrypt for encryption, cookie parser to maintain sessions. So this is cookie. EJS you already know, Express you already know, Express session for sessions, Express validator for validating purposes, and Mongoose you already know. Validator does validation and sanitization both. Sorry. Let me take you to app.js file now. So let me just slowly scroll the entire file so that I'm sure that I have flashed you the entire code. Right, so I have flashed you the entire code. Let me take you to the top again. And so this is like Express, cookie parser, session, Express validator, as I mentioned. And then, this is validation and sanitization. I have made these modules in the other files, other file, and I'm requiring them over here. And here I'm requiring the user, right? And app is equal to Express, and app.set view engine EJS. So my view engine is EJS. That makes it mandatory that you make this views folder and put entire views over here. And then I am having this for static routes. I'm having this thing for body parsing. We don't need body parser as is now. And then I'm using cookie parser, right? And look, once we say that we want to use it, it becomes middleware, right? What is middleware? Please go through it, yourself. I will let you know a little bit about it. So once by saying app.use, it becomes global middleware, right? So here I have made this global session as a global middleware. So user underscore SID is the name of the session ID. And then secret, this is some secret they are using in their own implementation to keeping the session secret. Resave false, I don't know what are they doing. So this is something I copied from the description. And look, so this is what they are saying, that if you are like not logged in properly, it will clear the cookie, session cookie, right? And then this is a function in session checker, right? It is checking that whether you are in session or not. So what's happening over here is that request.session.user and request.cookie.user SID, if both of them are existing, then render me sign out, because now you are signed in. So you don't need to have sign out, you need to have sign in file. Okay, right? So look at it. So this you need to have sign out file. So if you are not signed out, then you need to have the original me file, right? Okay. And here they are checking that are you logged out, and if you are logged out, then you need to have the original file. Okay. Okay, so this is like that get root route, right? You know already this thing, how does it work? This is the word file, this is the wall, this is me, right? So we are rendering. Okay, now here, look at it. Look at line number 71 carefully, and line number 67 also. Look, so once you are going at wall, it is checking that are you logged out? If you are logged out, then this actually, so once your request will come over here to the wall, before it goes to this function, this middleware is going to run. And this middleware is going to check that are you logged out? If you are logged out, then you are going to see me file, right? Otherwise it will not hamper you, and it will show you the wall. Okay, similarly, we coming here, if you want to go to me file, if you are already logged in, once you come to this route, this middleware will check this thing, that if you're already logged in, then it will show you this sign out view. Otherwise it will let you go and you will see the normal view. Let me show you this this entire project in action for you. So let me take you to the project. Okay, so the server is running. Let's refresh it. now it is, you can see that it is a different project, right? So if I try to go to, I'm currently not signed in, so it is going to allow me to go to the world view. It is allowing me to go to the home view. If I try to go to the wall, right, it brings me to the me tab, right? In the me tab, I can sign up, I can sign in, right? If, for example, I want to sign up, let me have the name. So name Manthan, for example, Manthan Patel, THAN, right? Manthan,
Right.
right?
Right.
And email is MVP.
Manthan be better.
Yeah, I'm not giving the right? So I'm just giving the at gmail.com, because here I have not made that functionality that it will send you a pin,
Pin, yeah.
right? So that is a different thing, right? Here in this course, we did so many things, right? We did like CSS, JavaScript, we did Git, Git, GitHub, we did HTML, we did Node,
Node.
yeah, and we also did like little bit of Mongoose. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And sign up, right? So success. Okay, so let me sign in, right? So for example, if I sign in, so MVP at gmail.com, password 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sign in, right? Look, now you are at my wall, right? World view, you can say home, you can say wall, right? You can come back at me, and in me now you can see that we don't have that sign out or sign up or sign in process, right? Here we have now sign out button, right? And if I press sign out button, right, you are signed out, you are back to home, right? And if you try to go to wall, it will not allow you to go to wall. It has brought to you to the sign in page, right? So this entire process is made here, and this is the basic process with, from which any of your content management system takes a start. So you can you can build on top of a thing, anything. This is very raw basic infrastructure I have just made for you, right? Got it? And by the way, this is the sign out process over here, right? Sign out process clears the cookie, and then send you that, hey, you better go back to the root, and so go over the code amicably and enjoy it, right? And I wish you good luck for all you do in your life, and good luck with it, right?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So take good care of yourself. So this was the last lecture, and now I will have you one by one, right? And we will discuss that what have you done so far. If there is something pending, we'll see that, and I will let you know about your grade, right? Okay, let me stop share and